Joining me now, Michael Waldman, Executive Director of the Brennan Center for Justice at NYU's School of Law, and David Rifkin, who served in the Justice Department in both the Reagan and George H.W. Bush administrations. Thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, Michael, what is most disturbing to you about today's revelation?
Well, it's two things. First of all, their explanation is tortured. It's very clear that the Justice Department was publicly stating that we do not do this. This is illegal. We are against it. And privately, they were issuing rulings, rolling over for the White House, saying, here's how to do torture. And their own staff, senior attorneys, such as the Deputy Attorney General, said privately, according to the newspaper, that they would be ashamed if the public ever found out. And this was just not because it was necessary, but because it was embarrassing. And that's the other thing, is what we have seen over and over again, what Congress has voted explicitly in the law, is torture is illegal and it doesn't work. It doesn't get information that's good, and it's bad for foreign policy.
David Rifkin, my guess is you're going to say that maybe this isn't torture, and how do you define torture? But if that is going to be your argument, how do you explain how good, conservative, honest lawyers like Comey and Goldsmith are both fleeing this Justice Department because they think that they have rolled over and they're doing things that violate the Constitution?
Very simple. First of all, having served in two administrations, I can tell you that every difficult legal and policy issue engenders serious and often heated disagreements, whether it's parsing a statutory definition in a Clean Air Act or debating what is the meaning of a term torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment. It does not mean that there are any evildoers. It does not mean. Moreover, New York Times, I remember reading in the newspaper about an account of some debate in which I participated, and I would laugh as to how distorted this picture is.
You're not addressing the specifics.
No,
here,
but
David.
you asked me a question.
And you're not answering.
How is it that people like Comey, if you believe New York Times, disagree with somebody like Steve Blackberry? Look, what we have here is the rule of law. In this country, we ask the lawyers whether or not a given. Excuse me, let me finish.
But you're filibuster. Right, I know. We ask lawyers whether a given set. Okay, we get it. We know how it works. Now the question is, why do you think then that people like Comey and Goldsmith are fleeing? It seems to me, I'll say my position is because I think that they were absolutely aghast at what this Justice Department was doing.
No, it means that, again, if you believe that everything New York Times said about their motivations is correct, this is what I would say. We lost an internal debate, and for a variety of reasons they departed. That has nothing to do with the merits of his proposal. Let me also tell you one simple thing. As far as the critics are concerned, including Mr. Waldman, everything is torture. Under their definition, everything is a T word. And yes, I'm going to tell you, not everything is torture. Some things are torture. Some things are clearly not.
What about the things listed in this article? Waterboarding, torture?
I am not in favor of waterboarding, but but wait a minute. But I can tell you that things like temperature variations within a certain zone, sensory deprivations are not torture. Let me tell you, they're used in most police stations in this country. Pushing, slapping, getting in your face, spittle flying, making you uncomfortable, not letting you sleep. That's what to do with muggers. As far as the abolitionists are concerned,
let him
do nothing.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Waldman.
First of all, waterboarding, as the other guest said, is by any definition torture. And the second thing is, if these were all such defensible things that you can see in any police station in the country as opposed to police state, why was it secret? Why was it necessary to have a secret?
David, I'm going to give you the final answer.
I got news for you. Almost all of OC opinions are secret. And they're not written for you. They're not even written for Congress. They're written for a particular client within the executive branch.
But they don't usually contradict. But they don't usually contradict the public statements.
That is your view. They do not contradict the public statements.
It is my view. Absolutely. Michael Waldman, thanks a lot for coming on. Appreciate it. David Rifkin's going to stay with us.